Hello everybody, it's Lady Kaylah here and welcome to the Geekdom. Today I'm going to do another Game of Thrones review because I have to kick these out as quick as possible. So this one is going to be Season 4, Episode 4, OathKeeper. And I'm just going to get right into it because I feel like this episode had a lot more going on than the previous episodes. I think they covered a little bit more point of view wise and so yeah, let's get started. I'm wearing my Not a Queen Khaleesi shirt because in this episode, my girl Daenerys takes on Meereen and conquers it, and yeah, so another win for Daenerys. But to move on from there, we have Sansa, my other favorite girl in Game of Thrones. And I like this bit of the episode because we get to see Sansa as being perceptive. She's figuring out how Littlefinger managed to do all that he did. And yeah, she's not freaking a mind reader, so she doesn't get it all, but she does, figure out a little bit on her own, and she kind of is intuitive as well, as she's like, oh, I just know these things, and, I like that. I like how they're giving Sansa a lot more of her own being, because she is silenced for a lot of the time that we get her because she's in abusive situations, and she's kind of in like another abusive situation because she's wholly dependent on Peter, and even she's giving him like the I know you're a creeper look, but I can't really do anything about it right now. So it's just so whatever. So, we find out Peter was behind it, that indeed the necklace was the poison, and then later Olenna, I believe, the Queen of Thorns, she admits to killing Joffrey to Margery's face, so we know that she's the one who just did the carrying out of the plans, and neither one of them have motives for killing Joffrey, other than Peter mentions like having new friends that he wants to please, which is, I don't remember that in the books, to be honest. I remember Peter just kind of being ruthless just for Peter. So, I'm not sure what he means by his new friends or anything like that. Or maybe by new friends he means people that he can manipulate into doing what he wants. And well, I guess we'll see. And it was, in the books, I believe it was like at this point or around this point that we figure out that Peter was behind everything, whereas in the show they kind of like make Peter not seem as smart as he actually is in the books, and so we kind of figure out some of his other plans earlier, but it wasn't really until this point in the books that everyone figures out like, oh my gosh, Peter is a lot more ruthless and more of a threat than we thought he was. So, yeah. And then with going after Sansa, since I mentioned the Queen of Thorns, I'll go into Margery, because Olenna tells Margery what happened, and then I don't know if this is important because I don't remember it in the books, but Olenna like fondles the necklace around Margery's neck. So is that like another poison necklace? And is it going to come up in the future? I don't know. We'll see. And then to continue with Margery, she's probably going to end up marrying Tommen, and that way she can keep her queenship and all that. And Olenna, tells a story where, she gets what she wants and she does what she needs to get what she wants. And so Margery visits Tommen at night, and because Tommen is smaller and younger, she's not going to use sexuality. Instead, she does something a lot better, and that's actually giving Tommen a voice. She asks him, what he thinks. She allows him to talk. She allows him to tell his secrets, and she gives him a voice. And that's something that, if we look back at what Tywin was doing, Tywin was basically telling him that if a wise king listens to his advisors, which means Tommen's not going to get a say. Tommen's just going to be the puppet king, At least that's what Tywin wants him to be. But Margery's coming visiting him at night and, you know, giving him a voice, making sure that he feels like he gets a say as king and he gets to talk and have, you know, a say in things. So I think that's where she's going with that, and that's why she was allowing him to talk and tell stories to her. And so yeah, also he's kind of just too young for anything else. So she's not really using sexuality. And so I think that's super smart. Let's see what else. I think I might jump into Jon Snow / The Wall and Bran and Beyond the Wall. So, starting with Jon Snow, they're basically doing what they were doing before, which is preparing for the wildlings to come, and Jon Snow's trying to get them, you know, physically prepared and ready for fighting, because he said, like, even if you kill 100 wildlings, you're still going to be outnumbered. Like, even if each one of the members managed to kill 100, they're still not going to make a dent. So, I mean, the best thing they can do is try to kill 100 wildlings. Why not? So, we find out that Alistair is kind of taking over as Lord Commander, but that's not how things work. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I'm next in command, I'm going to just take over, blah, 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 blah. The previous Lord Commander did not set he did not set the next in line, which I think is what would really happen. I think the Lord Commander gets to choose who's going to be the next commander, but he died, so he can't do that. So there's going to be a choosing, apparently. And so Alistair is going to let Jon Snow take care of the people who killed Mormont, and he's going to hope that Jon Snow dies in the process, so that he has a better chance of becoming the new Lord Commander. So that's what Jon Snow's doing. Jon Snow's getting a crew together to go to Craster's Keep and take care of the people who betrayed Mormont. So, coincidentally, Bran just got captured by those people. I don't remember any significant names, to be honest, but Bran's over there now because he just got captured, Summer got captured, and Ghost is there anyway. So Jon Snow's going to have to make his way down there for a multitude of reasons. So, we'll see what happens there. And then also Beyond the Wall, and this is how the episode ends, but I'm not going to end my review there because I have a lot more to talk about. But the baby sacrifice, you know, Craster got rid of his sons. He didn't get rid of any of the daughters, but he got rid of his sons, and we see that they are given to the others as a sort of sacrifice. However, it's not so the others can eat, and they don't like do this weird thing where they eat the babies or anything like that. We actually see the others take them to some kind of like ritualistic structure, and the baby kind of gets turned, and I'm guessing that's how others come into existence, because we've seen them turn other people, but they become like zombies. So we know those are not the others. Those are the whites. Those are like zombie people. The others, however, have a language and they have a purpose. They're like a race on their own. So I don't know if that's how they create themselves, is by using the babies. I don't know. But they use the babies for something. They turn them, and it becomes a thing. I don't know what the purpose of this is, but the others are kind of still one of those mystery things that happen, and I honestly think in this scene we get more about the others than we do in the books. So, yeah. And then I saved Jaime and what happens in like King's Landing last because the title is Oathkeeper, so it's kind of like Jaime's episode, kind of. I mean, obviously there is no one main character or anything like that. So, but Jaime was a focus character for this episode. So I'll start there. Jaime decides to actually finally visit Tyrion, and he just straight asks him, like, did you kill my son? And from that interaction, Jaime was able to come to his own conclusion rather than be, bullied or manipulated by Cersei. And he came to his own conclusion to say that, yeah, it wasn't Tyrion. Like, Tyrion did not kill my son. Like, Cersei's kind of just going crazy. Understandably so. When my brother passed away, I went there. I went kind of crazy. So, don't just brush off Cersei as, just being crazy for no reason. She has a reason. She lost her son, and there's a bunch of intrigue happening. I mean, if you're in that high-pressure situation where you don't know who to trust, and it's all about intrigue, I don't know, paranoia might be a normal thing. So, anyways, I like that Jaime has always loved his brother. Like, he never bullied his brother for no reason. He kind of was a supporter. Granted, there was that thing with Tyrion's first wife, but even then, Jaime wasn't being malicious. Like, I think Jaime tried to salvage that the best he could as a brother. But Tyrion actually says this sentence, which I couldn't find any reasoning for it. It's just a random sentence, so it must be foreshadowing, which is, Sansa's not a killer. Well, not yet, anyway. So there's no reason for him to know whether or not Sansa would become a killer or not. He doesn't know who she's with or where she is or anything like that. In fact, he knows she's not a killer, if anything. And so why would he say that unless the show was just trying to foreshadow something about Sansa? So that's interesting. And I'm guessing it's at this point everyone's like, ooh, Sansa might be a badass now. Well, she was always a badass. Sorry. Don't jump on the Sansa bandwagon just because she's with Peter now. Anyway, to continue on with Jaime, Jaime is starting to tell Cersei that, he's not going to be fawning over her like he did. I mean, she already made it clear she's not interested in him, and I can't justify the rape thing that Jaime did, but he's definitely not allowing Cersei to walk all over him like she used to. So he's on Tyrion's side. He's not gonna just randomly murder him. He's gonna let the trial happen. And another nice thing he does for Tyrion is pair Brienne and Podrick up so Podrick can get out of the city and he can help Brienne. So these are two major side characters that are getting together that people generally like, which is Brienne and Pod. So sadly, Brienne and Jaime have to part because Jaime's sending her on a quest to find Sansa because Jaime's tired of being dishonorable. He has Kingslayer hanging over his head. He is an oathbreaker. Which is kind of funny because the sword in the episode is OathKeeper, and yeah. But anyways, he wants to change that. And so he's letting Brienne do it while he stays and decides what to do as Kingsguard. And he's going to probably be a thorn in Cersei's side now that he's no longer doing her bidding and is no longer at her beck and call. So, yeah, and like here it's like, I ship Brienne and Jaime so hard, like how can you not? And so like there's a part, and like Brienne is so sad puppy. She is I don't even know if Jaime's like interested in her at all, but it's clear that she's interested in him. And so she's leaving and they're like speaking to each other like on that nightly level. And yet at the same time, like, Brienne's so in love with him. And so she has to, like, sad puppy her way out of there. And it was so sad. I still ship it. Jaime, go for it. Oh, he can't because he's a knight of the King's Guard. Oh, well. But that's that. That's all I have to talk about for this episode. Brienne's walking around with a Valyrian steel sword. It was made from ice. She's going after Sansa. I hope it all works out, because I think even in the books we're left without knowing exactly. So, anyway, that's all I have to say right now, and I'll get back to you guys with another episode review as soon as I can. So, thank you for your time. Bye! Oh, also in the description below are, like, the links to, like, all my things, like Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, all that fun stuff.